Hi everyone, this is Roisin and Scott from the Complete Dancer Project, and we're here at the University of Limerick to talk about the effects of jet lag and travelling for competition. So whether you're travelling to Killarney or to North Carolina for the World Championships, we hope this video will really help you optimise your performance. Our internal body clocks or circadian rhythm tell us when it's time to go to bed and when it's time to get up. But jet lag happens when our internal body clocks are synced with the time at home and not the time at our destination. And the more time zones that you pass through, the more profound the effects of your jet lag are likely to be. Jet lag can lead to feelings of fatigue, lack of alertness, to general feelings of illness and malaise. But there's lots of things that you can do to prevent or at least to minimise the impacts of jet lag.
Before you leave, while you've got the time, we talk about controlling the controllables, so simple things that aren't a problem until they go wrong. So is your luggage the right weight for the airline you're travelling on? Do you have your performance gear in your hand luggage? Last thing you want to have to do is break in some shoes at the World Championships. When you're travelling, dress for function rather than fashion. We're expecting you to be moving around in a plane. Likewise, dress in layers. If things are too warm, you need to be able to get some clothes off to cool yourself back down. And if things get cold, and they do on a plane, you need to be able to put some extra layers back on. The other thing you want to do is avoid the temptation of doing a big, hard, intense session before you leave. The last thing you want is to be stiff on the plane, and definitely you don't want to be stiff and sore coming off afterwards.
There's lots of things you can do while you're on the plane to prevent jet lag or to minimise the effects. And the first thing is to drink lots of water and fruit juice and to avoid things like alcohol and caffeine, as they can dehydrate you and make you feel worse when you get off the plane. Use an eye mask and earplugs to minimise disruption, but avoid using sleeping tablets unless your GP has specifically prescribed them for you. Make sure you keep your hands clean, so there's lots of bacteria on the plane and you want to avoid picking up a bug while you're travelling and being sick when you arrive. So the use of gel or hand wipes is very useful. Bring your own pillow, that will help with comfort, and make sure that you bring a spare pillowcase or two just to make sure that you maintain hygiene and comfort. Turn your phone off. So the blue light that emits from the screen of the phone stimulates your brain and keeps you awake. And finally, if you're going on a long flight, wear compression stockings. So these help prevent clots, which are a real threat to your health, but also minimise swelling for your feet and your lower limb. We're now going to look at a couple of exercises that you can do to help keep your body moving and prevent muscle stiffness while you're on the flight. Okay, so we're going to bring you through some simple exercises that you can do on the plane. These exercises are to be done 10 reps each, every 2 to 3 hours. So the first one of these is going to be ankle circles. So just rotating your ankle around to the right and then to the left, and repeating on the opposite leg. The next exercise is ankle pumps, so going up and down, getting the blood moving through the legs. Our next exercise is knee hugs, so bringing that knee right into the chest, stretching through the leg and holding it for about 10 to 15 seconds. Repeating on the other side, and again about 10 each side. The next exercise we're going to do is neck rolls, so nice and gently rotating your neck all through its available range of motion to the right and then back to the left. We're going to do something very similar with our shoulders, so bringing the shoulders up and back and down, and then reversing direction, 10 in each direction. We're now going to do a nice stretch for the spine, so bringing your head forward, bringing your hands around your knees and pulling yourself forward and holding that for about 10 to 15 seconds and doing 10 of those. And finally, rotating to the side, so using the armrest to pull yourself around a little bit further, holding for between 10 and 15 seconds and then repeating to the other side. In addition, you should walk for between 5 and 10 minutes every hour, provided you're not asleep, using the available aisle in the plane or the back of the plane where there's often some more room.
Your body's going to be very confused when you arrive from the change in travel times. You don't want to make that worse by having a great big rich meal or anything that's too spicy. Keep things light and bland. If you arrive during the day, get some unfiltered daylight into your eyes if it's not too cold outside. If you arrive at night, shut it down, put your head down and have a snooze if possible. Once you wake the next day or on arrival, you want to do a light session. Get things moving again. You want to avoid the temptation of hitting the dance floor straight away. You're going to be tired, your performance is going to be decreased, and you do increase the likelihood of getting injured.
So depending on where you're travelling from and where you're travelling to, there are different guidelines about things you can do to help manage your jet lag. So if you're travelling from east to west, so for instance if you're travelling from Ireland, from the western part of Asia, from South Africa and so on, you want to make your day longer. So you're going to go to bed maybe 30 to 60 minutes later every day to help you acclimatise when you arrive.
If you're travelling from east to west, you want to squeeze your day up. You're crossing the international date line. So when we're talking about going to bed here, it's between 30 and 60 minutes earlier. Big thing there again is avoiding that blue light. So keep phones out of your hands when you're going to bed.
So we hope that these few tips will help you manage your jet lag, and that when you arrive at your destination that you really enjoy yourself and have an amazing performance. We look forward to seeing you next time at the Complete Dancer Project.